have joined us. All right. So you can turn off the camera. Thank you so much, children. And any doubt you have towards the end of the session,
long time. It would be a long drawn battle kind of. So because of that, it used to be it was
Ma'am, I know this story actually.
correct. But let me tell you, there is something else I would want to tell you about this story as well. So this for wars would go on for a long time. So they were all in that process. They would all end up getting injured, or they would end up having cuts, bruises, hurts, and all that. Because of that, they got tired and sick and all that. So they were actually looking out for a doctor who could give them a magical potion. So when they drink that potion, all that pain, the hurt, the injury should go away. Like that, they were waiting for a doctor. So what they did, they all went to this Lord Vishnu. He happens to be the protector. So they went to him and told him his problem. So he thought, anyway, these two people, these gods and the demons, they will never stop fighting. So what I will do, I will put them to a task which is quite tough to accomplish. In that process, they will all be occupied for some time, and that will at least stop them fighting for a while, he thought. So he put them into a task. A task was quite tough. What he said, go find an ocean of milk, he said. Just look at it. It's not just a milk in your cup of glass or anything, an ocean, huge one made of milk. He further said, you should learn also how to churn that ocean. You churn that ocean. And they were again worried. Come on, it is not just a cup of milk that you are being asked to churn. It is an ocean. How are we going to churn it? So he gave a solution. Okay, do one thing. Find a mountain. There is a mountain called Meru. Get hold of that mountain. You can use that as the plunger, as the thing that you can use to churn, he said. Now there was another problem. How are we going to balance that mountain? See, it has got to stay in a place for it to be churned. He again provided a solution. Do one thing. I mean, there was no such big belt. So he said, okay, take a snake, he said. Not just any other snake. It is the snake Vasuki. Vasuki happens to be the king of snakes. It's a gigantic python. So he said, catch hold of that snake, use that as the belt, and then you use it to churn, he said. So gods and demons, they forged a temporary friendship. They went in search of the Kshira Sagara, or the ocean of milk. So there they went, they found the Mount Meru, they found this snake Vasuki. Now they brought them all together and they started to churn the mountain. So churn the ocean. So when they were churning, it took a long time for them to churn, and they kept on doing it. So when that was happening, there are so many valuables, precious things that came out of that mountain, of that ocean during the churning of that ocean. So during one of those days, you can see on the right side, there was Lord Dhanvantari. He came out of that Ksheerasagar, or during the churning process, he came out of there. So this Dhanvantari is nothing but god of good health. So he came out of that ocean there. You can see the picture here. Dhanvantari, lord of good health, he has Amrita Kalasha in his hand. One hand has a pot full of nectar here. He has got in one hand. In the other hand, he has got some very rare medicinal plants, the plants which can cure people of many types of illnesses. So it is this Lord Dhanvantari who is said to have brought Ayurveda. He has that Ayurveda in the other hand as well. So he is said to have brought this Ayurveda into this world. So this is what we know about how Ayurveda entered. But now, children, let me tell you. Children, I really will appreciate if you do not interrupt in the middle. Whatever your questions are, like I told you, I will answer them in the end. Kindly ask me at the end. Thank you. So now I will want to tell you about some very important aspects, very maybe unique concepts about Ayurveda. First and foremost is Ayurveda is one of the oldest systems of medicine that has been in anywhere in the world. Ayurveda has a history of nearly 4,000 years. So Ayurveda is said to have originated in India about 4,000 years ago, and it has been in use since then. The image that you are all looking at right now is that of Acharya Charaka. Charaka is said to be the father of medicine. He is a very, very eminent doctor. He has written a book called Charaka Samhita. This Charaka Samhita, he has written so many diseases, how it comes, what to do when that disease happens, how to treat those diseases. It's a wonderful book, children. It's a one of its kind book, and it has been translated into many, many, many languages all over the world. One of the oldest available medical treatises anywhere in the world. This is called Charaka Samhita. Next one that we are looking at here is that of Acharya Sushruta. He, Acharya Sushruta, is called the father of surgery. So he has written a book called Sushruta Samhita. Sushruta was a famous person. He was a surgeon. He could treat so many surgical problems. His specialty was plastic surgery and skin grafting. In the picture, you can see that he has been trying to operate something on the ears and the eyes. What he used to do was, in those times, there were a lot of wars and battles that were being fought. And in that process, so many people would end up with deformities like a broken nose or a torn off earlobe or things like that. He was a specialist in attaching those parts back to the body. It was a wonderful thing for him to accomplish at that time. And in his book Sushruta Samhita, he has explained so many types of medical instruments, surgical instruments. Children, even to this day, in so many hospitals, those instruments are used as it is even to this day. So that's a great accomplishment. And he is a person who actually started this procedure of dissecting a dead body. The dissecting means opening up a dead body so that medical students can use it as an opportunity to learn about human body. That was a very important step he started, and that happens even to this day in all medical colleges. So cadaver study it is called. Sushruta brought in that cadaver study. So he was a very great doctor for that. These people, they have come up with some very unique concepts, children, about what our body is made up of. When we understand what it is made up of, we will know how to take care of it. So they have come up with a unique concept. Now they say our body has got three very, very important ingredients. It's called Vata, Pitta and Kapha. You can see it on the screen. So our body has got three important ingredients: Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Children, in your chemistry classes or labs, I'm sure you will all have seen what a tripod stand looks like, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So a tripod stand is one which has three legs and they are completely in sync or in total balance. So what happens when your tripod stand is in a balanced state? You can keep anything on top of it and you can use it. It is useful. But if any one leg of that stand, say, is a little imbalanced, it is a little shaky or something, then the entire balance of the thing is being lost. Similarly, in our body, this Vata, Pitta and Kapha, they are like a tripod stand. They are in a state of complete balance. It should remain like that. When it stays like that, then your body is in a state of balance. That state of balance is called health. If there is any small imbalance in the legs, then there is going to be a big imbalance in your health. That is what is called sickness or illness. That is when we fall ill. So it is very important that we learn how to maintain this balance. Now, the first ingredient that I was talking to you is called Vata. Vata is that principle or that ingredient in your body which brings in activities, which gives you movement. I'll give you a small example. Children, some of you are all very good in sports, correct? You enjoy sports more, you play it better than your rest of the friends. No, you are more athletic, you can run faster, you enjoy the sport, you play it better. So it is because of this vata that happens. So vata is this principle which brings in that activity level in your body. Now the next one I was talking to you is called pitta. It is the next ingredient or the next leg. What does this pitta do? It is that principle that brings in good metabolic activity in your body, and it is also the one which makes you with a good maybe concentration power, memory power, good intelligence. So we see some of the kids performing very well at school. They can understand even the most complex subjects by themselves. We have seen that happening, right? Some people have extraordinary memory. They remember everything. They perform very well at studies. So it is this pitta which brings that effect in your body. So pitta is that ingredient which brings about memory and all those things that I have been talking to you about. So the next ingredient is kapha. Kapha is that ingredient which brings in strength, sturdiness and mobility at the same time, especially in your joints and bones. So when most people, I have seen most kids actually, they find it difficult even to sit down on the floor. In that case, we do see some kids who are extraordinarily flexible. They can do the complex of yogasanas, they can do. They are very good gymnasts. We see that happening. That happens because of kapha, because kapha brings in flexibility in your joints, at the same time makes your joints stronger. So we see people becoming more and more flexible due to this concept of kapha. These three ingredients, vata, pitta and kapha, they are in a state, like I told you, of complete balance. Almost in a state where we can call them a homogeneous mixture. Children, let me remind you of your chemistry classes and lessons once more. A homogeneous mixture is one where you can no longer identify a solute from the solvent. It is so well mixed. So also in the human body, you can certainly never be able to identify vata or pitta or kapha because they are in a state of absolute balance, absolute homogeneity. They are so well mixed with one another, so that you will never be able to find one from the other. So it is this which brings about that state of health. Children, I think you all have heard this concept of takeaways. Maybe you have gone to a pizza place or a burger place or a restaurant where you see takeaway pizza is there, a takeaway burger is there, takeaway lunches are available. Similarly, in my today's talk, you have certain takeaways. What are those takeaways for you? They are the takeaway tips. What are they going to give you? These takeaway tips are going to make you healthier, stronger, increase your mental acumen. You will end up being more with concentrating on your studies, improving your mental strength, or in improving your memory. You can do that. So all in all, you will be able to do a better job in your studies, in your education. You will be able, that is the takeaway for you from me today. So the first takeaway I'm going to give you for today is called dinacharya. Dinacharya means daily routine. So there are a set of activities that all of you needs to do every single day from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you sleep in the night. Such of those activities that I told you, that like I told you in the beginning as it is, that will make you more healthy, more strong, more strong on your mental capacity. You will become higher on the memory power, concentration, everything increases. So for that, there are certain things that you have to do every single day. The first thing that you need to do is to wake up early. I know it is a bit difficult with all this, pandemic. You have been at home for nearly 2 years now. So I see children waking up at 7:30. But children, if you can just make a little, very small change, just wake up half an hour early, than sunrise. That's all is what you need to do. It is at that time the atmosphere around you has got a lot of oxygen. Oxygen is the food for your brain. So your brain becomes supercharged just by waking up about half an hour earlier to sunrise. That's all you need to do. So automatically your concentration increases. Automatically your memory becomes good because oxygen is the food for the brain. So at that time there is a lot of oxygen, not just oxygen, children. I know, I hope you know what ozone is. Ozone is super saturated oxygen, O3. Oxygen is O2, ozone is O3. We also have ozone in the atmosphere at that time. So you have that bonus of availing that atmospheric ozone as well, because as the day progresses, as pollution starts, that ozone will be killed. It is not there in the atmosphere anymore. So the only time of the day when you can find it is early morning. So waking up about half an hour early is the proved way to increase your memory power and your concentration. Then after you wake up, I mean, you're all big children now. I know I don't really have to tell you this, but just to maintain the continuity, once you wake up, you have to brush your teeth. A thorough toothbrush is very, very, very important. You have to brush your teeth properly. Second, clean your tongues. Very, very important. You have to clean your tongue daily and thoroughly you should do that. Why you have to do all that? Because this pandemic has taught us how important oral hygiene is, because more than 70% of just this COVID virus is seen to enter your body through your nose and throat. So you have to maintain a very good hygiene of the oral cavity. Then you also have to use a warm water and gargle yourself daily. That's a very good way to maintain hygiene in the throat, in the oral cavity and all that. So it's very important. You should do that daily. Then you start your day with a glass of warm water. What does it do? A glass of warm water, say about 200 ml of warm water to start the day. It is going to, one, detoxify your body, and it helps in removal of waste. So many people find it difficult to pass motions early in the morning. So it is going to help you get rid of that problem. It's a very good way to detoxify yourself. Then every single day, children, it is very, very important that you spare at least 30 to 45 minutes on some kind of physical activity. It may be going out for a cycling or swimming or playing a sport or yoga and Surya Namaskara. That is even better. So you should do any one of these things every single day for 30 to 45 minutes. So that way you are going to keep your body strong, and it is a very, very important step to increase your body stamina and immunity. So everyday exercise is compulsory. Then you then have about you take about 4 to 5 spoons of warm oil, massage yourself completely, and then you take a bath. So important, because taking this oil massage is going to not only strengthen your skin, it makes it resistant to onslaught of bacteria, virus. They can't enter your skin quickly. It brings in, it builds up a barrier between them and you. So it is a very useful concept. So without going to a doctor, you can take care of your health by yourself. So this is one of the very important steps there. You apply oil and then take bath. After taking a bath, children, it is essential that you say a small prayer to God and thank Him for all your blessings. You are all so very blessed in this earth. So you should thank God for all that you have for you. That you should do. Then after taking bath, you should have something to eat. I usually suggest people to have a very nutritious and balanced breakfast. So it is a good idea that you actually have your breakfast after taking a bath. It should not be the other way around. You should not eat before taking bath, or you should not take a bath just after you eat. It is important that you need to do. And while eating as well, I have shown you what you can eat so that you know it is going to help you to improve your immunity. I told you you should have a nutritious food, balanced food, warm home cooked food. and you add a lot of green leafy vegetables and fruits to it, so that internally it is going to help you build your immunity. And stay away from junk food, children. It's such a waste. Cliche, I know, but it's such a waste of your health. Do stick to natural and safe foods. And sleeping at night, you should always sleep early, sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. That's something that you should do every single day, sleeping at the same time, waking up at the same time. The next tip I was talking to you about is called Rutucharya, or seasonal regimen. In Indian context, we have got 6 seasons. 6 seasons are explained. The some of the seasons of India, we have the first season would be the cold and dewy season, then comes spring, summer, rainy, autumn, and winter. So these are the 6 seasons we have in India. Right now, what we are looking at is the cold and dewy season. So in every season, there is a particular type of weather condition. So there is a change that happens in the weather. There are certain things that happens around you that is very typical to each season. So you should make modifications, say in your diet, in what you eat, in your lifestyle, how you do your daily activity in accordance to the weather changes or the seasonal changes around you. What happens when you do that? You will end up being healthy in all seasons. If we fail to make this adjustment in our diet or our lifestyle in accordance to the weather, we will fall sick. That is what is known as seasonal changes. So, like I told you, what we have this season right now is called, it is the cold and dewy season. In Ayurveda, we call that Shishira Rutu. So Shishira Rutu is what we are looking at right now. So how does the Shishira Rutu look like? Like I told you, cold and dewy. Early morning, there is a lot of fog that is seen. The days are shorter, nights are longer, and extremely cold in the night. So, and there is also this concept happening on and off. It has been raining, so though it is a very unseasonal thing happening, we have had that for the last few some time. So what happens because of all these changes? People end up either feeling running nose, cold, cough, various types of aches and pains in the body, feverishness. So we call them flu-like symptoms. They look like a flu. So how are we going to help with help? How can we help ourselves? How can we make sure that we don't have such symptoms? Very easy. First, you should keep yourself warm. Wear warm clothes. Eat warm, timely, home cooked food. That is one very, very important way to keep yourself warm and healthy. One. And there is this children, you know what amla is? Amla, gooseberry, Indian gooseberry. So
Yes.
it is called Nellikai in Kannada. So it is available in this season. This is the season for that amla. So it is available. You should use that as a part of diet. If you find time, you go. You can just find on internet what gooseberry, Indian gooseberry or amla does to you, to your health. It's an extremely good, miraculous medicine, children. It has got the highest known level of vitamin C anywhere in any food around us. And it has got very high levels of vitamin A and many other trace minerals. It's very important for our body to maintain our immunity, more so in this season of Shishira Rutu. So make amla a part of your diet. That way you can build your immunity and fight off, like I told you, this flu symptoms. Then you all would have seen tulsi leaves. You add a fistful of tulsi leaves into water, boil it and drink. It is an excellent remedy to increase your body immunity. Likewise, we have all other seasons and there are certain things that you need to do in each of these seasons that is told in Ayurveda. So how you can make this, what more small changes you can do so that you can keep up your health, so that you don't lose your health. That is what is explained in Rutucharya. The next tip I was talking about is called Sadvritta. Sadvritta is nothing but code of conduct, moral code of conduct. So this is a tip that is being explained in Ayurveda, keeping in mind the mental health of people. That's very, very important. Actually, we came to know how important mental health is only during this pandemic time. So the basic things, it's not too difficult for you to follow. It's actually for children of your age to understand this. No, you always need to keep up a positive state of mind. You know, should not end up, you should always keep yourself happy and motivated, happy, and all that. You should never fall prey to this negativity. You know, I see people, children come to me to say, Madam, I'm feeling this examination fear. I'm very tensed. My exams are coming. Things like that. Never get into that situation, children. It is when you make this part a part of your life. How to live tension free, anger free. Keep yourself free of all that anger, greed, jealousy. It may sound very cliche to you, but it is very, very important to maintain this so as to stay in good health. So, like I told you, these are some of the takeaways that I had for you today from my side. Like I told you, please take these away, not just for yourself, but also for the rest of your family people, because this is something that helps all of you to keep up a well-being, a sense of well-being. So this is very important. This feeling of well-being for all you, so that during these times of pandemic and all this uncertainty, you can tide over it without getting mentally worried or stressed or anything. So these are some of the important things I wanted to tell you, so you all have to follow this. But children, at last not the least, I want to tell you, limit your screen time, children. It is very important. I see so many people, kids of your age, ending up with so many problems because of overexposure to electronic gadgets. Cut it down, children. Cut it down to the barest minimal as possible, because it is causing a lot of problems. I have been seeing them personally daily. So stay away from that. I really wanted to see you all personally, children. I really wanted to see you in person, talk to you. It would have been so much fun that way. But the situation is not allowing us. But I really hope I can come back. Once this problem is sorted, we can all see you personally, meet you in person, see what all you need to say, what all you have to ask. I would really love doing that. But then, until then, this is all is what we can do. So until I see you next time, take care, children. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family's health. Okay, so long. I'll see you all. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Shruti
Thank you,
ma'am,
children.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
Now,
ma'am.
on behalf of children, one second. On behalf of Gopalan International School, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to you, ma'am. Such
Thank
a
you.
wonderful session you have conducted, and to educate our students about Ayurveda, and very important tips you have given today to live a healthy life. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward for such more sessions, ma'am, from your
Me too,
side.
me too, ma'am. I really would love to meet the kids, come over, talk to them. It's very important that they understand how important it is to have a healthy life.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. See you all. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Ma'am, bye, ma'am.
Thank you, bye, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
I
See you,
think
ma'am. Good night.
Shivatmik has a doubt. Why can't we eat before taking a bath?
Okay. I think ma'am left.
Ma'am, not me, Shivatmik asked out.
Okay.